So hi everyone, today in this video we're going to develop another strategy to solve another type of problem that we face today. And this obviously is by using mental models. That's what I believe are so like the best way that you as someone that does not like don't have like the technical expertise that probably will be needed to solve the problems. But then you see that just by knowing it, these mental models you can already solve and understand or so to create a tab to solve that has like the foundations, the main ideas. Now, if to apply technically, you kind of need to a bit more years of study experience, but you see that just by knowing these mental models, you can already like create interesting ideas. And then so today, what's gonna be the problem? The problem that is the stress type of we are induced in, so we are on, so it's applying on us, that obviously can create the problems that we see today. So, but then going a bit more deep to understand better the problem, what so is the states that we have and are interesting so to get. We have 1 in 3 adults suffer chronic stress, so it's something that it's still not what's bad of having stress, but it's a thing that's true. But then, so what creates chronic stress? We understand that chronic stress puts us in a higher type of likelihood to suffer with problems in terms of our health. And we all have, for example, we have 1 trillion year lost globally due to burnout and productivity loss that comes with having this chronic stress. But then understanding it, we kind of probably have to look for what are like drop stressors. And what seems to be the top stressors? We have work overload, 45%, financial pressure, 32%, and we can attribute to all, and we can like attribute to other social media 37%, 27%. Obviously, this was come from some type of interviews that were made, but obviously probably comes here another type of things that can create stress, like the normal type of behaviors and the happenings that tend to happen, and obviously something that's bad for the people. But then we have what? Work overload, financial pressure, financial struggles, exposure to social media, and obviously what comes bad with that obviously exists as well. Is it something good with being present in social media? But then as well we have other type of problems like addictions and bad type of happenings that happen so to us. But then, so what are the mental models that can create solutions for that? We have, so first one that I would like to talk, the Yerkes-Dodson law, so optimal stress level. What's the idea? Stress boosts performance to a point. Then after that point, it tends to crash the performance. So probably it's good and it's positive to have a bit of stress, but what's the problem is that it is not regulated and is present in high levels that so creates this chronic stress that so is bad in long term. But then, so what's the fix for that? How to try to solve it? Stress audits. The Japan's Toyota uses wearable tech to flag burnout risks. The productivity has increased 20% by people also understanding better when they're so kind of close to this burnout risk and then so not kind of stepping the line. Micro recovery breaks. The NASA's 26-minute work, 4-minute rest cycle has reduced errors by 35%. And we understand that what comes as a consequence of our errors can also create stress in us. So, what probably will be the way that these fixes tends to act? One is trying to recognize as fast as possible when you're about to pass a level of stress that so will create problems for us. And another one that's a preventive way so to so kind of algorithm to work that doesn't make you so feel and react to a stress point that's bad. That is so the 26-minute, 4-minute rest that NASA has implemented that obviously backed by data has so reduced the errors by 35%. The other one that has make us so understand better if we're about to enter in burnout has made the productivity increase 20% because so we tend to not suffer with this burnout because we prepare better. Second, the Pareto principle that states that 80% of stress comes from 20% of triggers. But then, so what's like the fix that comes with knowing that? It's probably so acting in these 20% of triggers that are the most important ones. And then, so what we have? We have artificial intelligence stress mapping, the app like the stress cut used in Sweden as an example. It is toxic habit and that's cut in 50% because we have understood so what has it happened and that's so trying to cut away. And the last 20%. So drop on social platforms, the Finland's Digital Detox Day has made the fear of missing out reduced 65%. So drop one social platform doesn't having that much as so decrease the stress because one of the creators of stress is the fear of missing out that comes a lot with people being over-connected with social media and news and stuff like that. 3. Anti-fragility growth stronger through controlled stress. The cold exposure, Dutch Iceman training has increased the resilience hormones. The cortisol has reduced 40% by that cold exposure. So that's another way that you can have it. And stress inoculation. The military's VR simulations prep civilians for chaos. The UK drills has reduced panic 70%. So see, this is important. It's like the inoculation that happens with the vaccine. So what's the way? The science is nothing much that you just put so the bad thing, but in the low levels that so your body will always win. But then by winning and by fighting him is one toward the strategy that has used to fight this. And it's like the same way. So putting in to not people do not feel with stress. One of the best ways is so by kind of getting them facing this stressor, these small stressors that makes him so being more immune to the stress and then respond better in the future. Is one of the best ways to educate the children to deal with stress is by exposing to challenges, to these small stressors. That's something that seems to be positive. 4. Hedonic treadmill idea we adapt to chronic stress, mistaking it for normal. So, but then what we can do about it? We have mindfulness nudges. The Google search inside yourself program has reduced burnouts by 30%, and gratitude shocks daily 3-minute journaling. The Harvard study has shown that has increased life satisfaction by 25%. 5. The cognitive load theory. The idea brain's overload, decision fatigue, stress spirals. What's the fix? Brain minus the pre-planned meals, workouts, Obama style decision minimalism, and artificial intelligence assistance tools like Notion AI auto sort tasks. So made the mental clutter reduced 60%. And also cognitive load theory, we because the cognitive load seems to be something positive. Delegate what it can do, and normally so for these type of elements as is so the technologies. Social exchange theory idea, toxic relationships drains energy, reciprocity reduces stress. So what's this? By knowing it. Boundary budgets that allocates time per relationships, therapy app boundaries has reduced the guilt by 45%. Mutual hate networks, the spams, time banks, trade skills has made the loneliness decrease by 50%. 7. Opportunity cost idea. Saying yes to stress is equal to saying no to joy. What's the fix so for that? Hell yes or no rule. Drop non-essential tasks like LinkedIn SEO reduced meetings by 70%. And stress relief tax time wasters like 1 minute for toxic companies. So interesting idea to apply some of the ideas, but it's good to having it. It's good to understanding it how you can be creative just by grasping just like 7 mental models, and probably you neither need these 7, probably just like the 4 5 will already give you enough to create the action that will reduce a lot from the stress that you get in your day-to-day life. That's something that's interesting to look. And 8, and the last one of this video, the lean effect. What's the idea? A child practice outlasts phase, but that's so what's the fix by understanding it? We have like forest bathing, the Japanese Shinyaku has reduced cortisol 50% in 20 minutes. So the forest bathing, the interesting thing that has shown and is applied in Japan. And Japan is one of the main type of countries that more people suffer with stress because it's where they kind of have more like they have to meet more higher standards and something that the Japan has already developed. It's more kind of well-developed country in terms of initiatives to solve this stress problem. And we have another one that is breathwork revivals. The Navy SEALs 478 breathing stops panic in 60 seconds. And that's what these ideas that 4 seconds inspiring, 7 that you retain, 8 that you expire. Seems to be that it's something that's good, it's positive. So now, with all that, I think you already have enough tools to understand the problem, to create some of the solutions to solve it. And with that much more to say, I thank you, And I expect to see so in the other videos that this channel is produced and is about to produce. So without much more to say, I hope this video helps you if you suffer with this type of disease or problem. And without much more to say, so thank you and hope to see you in the next one.